everyone. Welcome. So, I am here with a former client from the High Value Woman Mastermind, and we're just going to be chatting about her experience being part of the mastermind, what it's changed for her in her life and her dating, her relationships with men, and hopefully just give you a window into some of the kinds of results that clients are getting from inside the program and to learn from her experience. So much for being here with me today. So before we dive in, I would love if you just start by introducing yourself. So what do you do? Where are you from? How old are you?
Sure. So my name's Sally, and I live in Santa Fe, New Mexico. I'm a nurse practitioner. I have my own practice, and I'm 42 years old.
Thank you. All right. So I would love to start with what brought you into the High Value Woman. So like, why did you sign up?
Um, so I signed up in a very vulnerable time in my life. I had had another failed relationship that was very dramatic and disappointing, and so I can't remember exactly how I learned of High Value Mastermind. I think through Instagram. But I just thought, I really need to get to the bottom of what's happening in my life and in my relationship and in my patterning so that I can have a successful future relationship and heal what's ever happening in me that may be preventing that.
Yeah. And like, what were some of the challenges or like patterns that you were seeing, prior to coming into the mastermind?
Um, in general, there was kind of a string of being attracted to, at some level, emotionally unavailable men, which may not present itself until later on. And so
Mhm.
that was very upsetting and disappointing, when that would show itself, and then things wouldn't work out. And so it was a little bit of a string of heartbreaks.
Yeah. And so it sounds like not really knowing how to identify early on if somebody was going to be available to you and actually available or not. So like some of the like choosing maybe.
Some of the choosing, and also even when they said they were available, it didn't necessarily mean that they were available.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of yes, 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 and then actually getting into the relationship. No, 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 and so that was really confusing and disappointing.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And I know a lot of the women listening will definitely relate to that pattern. It's a pretty common one.
Mm.
All right. Well, thank you. So I want to talk about the High Value Woman Mastermind and kind of your experience being in the container. So like what happened inside the mastermind? What started to change for you? What experiences did you start to have? Like what happened for you in there?
Sure. So I was really healing on so many levels when I came into the mastermind. And I would say that it was a program that really guided me and shifted my belief system around men and around dating, around myself. And it just really, the material was so interesting and so good and such high quality material that I really tried to, do as much as possible, get through as much material as possible, and really learned a lot. And I would say, now, a few months after the program's ended,
Hmm.
I have a lot of peace. I have much more peace. I have a totally different belief system around who I am. Um, who I am as a woman, what I have to offer. And I just feel so much better.
Yeah. So in terms of, how the container is structured, so we have like our modules, we have our calls, we have our Facebook group, what did you get from each of those, aspects of the mastermind?
Sure. So I really liked that we met uh, weekly. Do we meet?
Hmm.
Yeah, okay. I really
Mostly.
was that weekly. I really like that we met weekly. That was a really good check-in. It was wonderful to be in a container of women that were doing the same work and going through the same material. So I like that a lot. I think your coaching is really phenomenal. And I love that that you went through which with each woman, what was coming up that week, and you had a good background and you were able to really counsel honestly to exactly what was going on and give really good advice to kind of help shift us.
Mm.
And so that was really beneficial and helpful for me, not only for myself and what you offered in that way, but also listening to the other women, what they were going through, what their struggles were, and the advice that you gave. Um, and so that was really beneficial. The material is, I thought really good. I'm still getting through the reading list. The Queen's Code totally changed my life, one of the books you
Yeah.
recommended. And so, all of that was very supportive, very, very good. And I really liked, yeah, I liked the structure of how that was done.
Yeah. Were there any particular parts of what you learned in the mastermind that really changed things for you or really stood out for you and made a difference? I know there's a lot of stuff in there, a lot of modules, but were there any ones in particular that like really kind of stood out or helped you?
I think just the overall thing that I've benefited from is just being in my femininity, like allowing that to
Mhm.
happen. I wasn't really taught to be in my femininity. I was taught really to be very high achieving,
Yep.
because I was able to, and very successful as far as my academics and
Mhm.
independent as far as my career. So this was a total shift for me in just understanding, how to sit in my femininity and being a woman.
Mhm.
And that's been very peaceful for me. So I would say just the shift around, that and mostly for that for me is just like allowing me to be myself. And that feels really good. Like it's okay to be myself. And being in my feminine actually means being myself. It means doing the things I like. It means taking care of myself.
Mhm.
It means enjoying myself, and that the men in my life just benefit from me being happy doing what I love and being in my own energy. I don't have to do anything to, make them love me.
Yeah, yeah, that's such a huge one. Yeah, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
I also kind of want to look outside since the program has ended and look at, what has changed for you? What has changed in terms of dating? I know you've been taking a little time off from dating, but you were dating a little bit, and also just like your experience in life and with men, like what has changed, since the mastermind for you?
Sure. So I read the Queen's Code at the the last module of the mastermind, and everything that I learned in the mastermind and with that book really I feel like changed my belief system. And what I've really gained in this time is I really, being able to understand men on a deeper level. I feel like I want to, and they are just different. And being able to understand them and appreciate them for who they are, and understand kind of their behavior and what that means a little bit better, and appreciate that. I just have a genuine appreciation for men. And I've
Mhm.
decided in my life that I will, treat everyone or treat all the men in my life according to the Queen's Code, which is really appreciating them.
Mhm.
Um, and kind of see what happens. And it's been very transformational. It's been transformational with my brother. It's been transformational with my father. It's been transformational in my friendships. I'm not dating right now, but I think it will be very transformational when I do start dating.
Yeah. Well, what has changed? What's been transformational? What's transformed?
Sure. I would say that I'm actually receiving the support that I've always longed for and needed and wanted. And it's just happening. I'm just allowing it and kind of appreciating the men in my life for who they are and seeing what they bring and what they offer and what they have to give and provide, um and letting them know how grateful I am for those things. You
Hmm.
know, they've really showed up.
What
They've
have they done
really
for
showed
you?
up. Yeah, they've showed up. And they are providing and protecting me at this level that I've never experienced. And it feels really good. It feels really, really, really good to not feel like I'm needing to do everything by myself or figure it all out by myself. And I can ask the men in my life for help and support, and they're happy to show up.
And that's different than what you were experiencing. I know, like coming into the mastermind, what was it like before doing all this work for you?
Um, I felt like I needed to uh provide all of that, I think, to the
Hmm.
men in my life. And
Hmm.
I think that that was not necessarily a positive pattern because they didn't feel, you know, they may have felt emasculated or not good about themselves. And I didn't even know I was doing that.
Yeah.
So by not allowing them to support me or provide for me or show up for me, it was really like discrediting them at on this level that I didn't understand.
Yeah. And I know you shared that your relationship is really transformed with your brother and your dad. What has that been like?
You know, it's been most specifically with my father, which has been a massive healing for me. And I would say by appreciating what he is offering me, um, like I've never he's never been forthright about exactly what he was doing to provide and protect for me.
Mhm.
But I've been able to see it since this program and appreciate him for that. And it's absolutely transformed our relationship. And we actually have and are building a much closer, much more solid relationship. And what I've been able to do is shift my belief system around him, and see him as a man who actually has been doing all of these things my whole life for me that I maybe took for granted or didn't see. And I've been able to see that, and and I've been grateful for it, and I've let him know, and it's completely, completely shifted everything. It's very powerful. I'm gonna cry.
Yeah. Oh, you're making me cry too. That's so beautiful. Oh, I'm really,
Yeah, I
really
mean, it's the relationship with my father I've always wanted.
the relationship you've always wanted.
With my father, yeah. I
Mm.
mean, yeah, it's, oh, you know, the healing that I've always wanted. And he's been much more open and much more engaged. Um, so I mean, absolutely changed my life. Changing my life, continuing to change my life. Excuse
That's
me.
so huge. And for the ladies listening, like I know many of us do carry wounds around the masculine. We carry wounds, father wounds, right? And this work, what we do in the mastermind is so much about healing that because that's how we become the woman who can receive the love that we have always wanted, the provision that we have always wanted. We don't often see the men around us for who they really are. And we actually block them being able to give us all the love and provision and protection that we've always wanted. And so this work is so transformative for every man in your life, not just your future partner, which it will definitely be transformative for, but for every man and for a woman to be able to experience being protected and provided for and taken care of by all the men in her life so that you can truly be in your feminine. So you can be soft and you can be relaxed and you can feel peaceful and you can stop trying so hard because we don't need to. And so I'm so happy to hear that that has been an outcome. Really, really happy to hear that.
Thank
Um,
you.
yeah,
Yeah, it's been so powerful. It's been, I think, the thing that I've needed the most. And now that that's shifted, gosh, I mean, I just feel like my future is going to absolutely open up in this really amazing and beautiful way that I can't, I don't even know the gifts that are going to come from this.
yeah, yeah. You don't. It's going to be so amazing.
Thank you. It's
I can't wait.
really changed my life. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Are there other changes that you haven't mentioned that have kind of come from the mastermind and in you or just other things that have changed for you?
Um,
or just how you feel now in life.
Yeah, I mean, life has been more fun.
Mm,
Like it's just been more fun. I know that all I have to do is be myself, and I don't have to prove anything to anybody. I don't have to be the best at anything. I don't have to, stand out in this way that I thought I needed to before. Um, I just get to take care of myself and, do what I love. And um,
what does it feel like to be able to kind of release all of that? Most of the women who come to work with me come in with that kind of, belief system, kind of feeling that they have to do these things. What is it like to be on the other side?
I feel much more peaceful and life is more fun. I've been inviting instead of forcing. And that's
Mhm.
been fun, having dinner parties, having little parties, having get-togethers, things that I love, and people are coming, people are showing up. And so that's fun. Yeah, it's much easier to be myself, I think. And I think the other thing that I really learned from the mastermind is to just lean back into my feminine, which really means, being in my feminine just really means being myself.
Mhm.
And leaning back to allow men to show up for who they are, and to really be able to see that and appreciate that, and also let them kind of self-select.
Yeah,
And if they're
absolutely.
not showing up in a certain way, that's okay. That's okay.
Mhm.
Um, but it's nice for me to just not have to. It's nice for me to feel like I don't have to do anything, to just have my life flow and to be happy in my life.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I mean, I think when I think about all of the things that come from the mastermind, I think you've basically touched on the really, really big ones that most women tend to walk away with in terms of who they get to be, how the world gets to feel, how life gets to feel, how it gets to be with men. So it's so beautiful to hear. And thank you for sharing all of that. I hope
Yeah,
it's
my
inspiring
relationships.
and helpful for anybody who's listening. Like this is what you can get. This is what life can be like for you. Like, come work with me, join the mastermind.
Yeah, and I've really been promoting you too. I mean, it's been a wonderful combination of a dating course and a therapy course, with this very profound, deep transformational healing that was not accessible to me in another way.
Yeah.
So I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah, and that's interesting to hear. Like, I don't know if I've ever asked you, have you done other types of, personal development work, therapy work, programs? What would you say is different about this versus those kinds of things?
Um, I really feel like I got a lot out of this program. A lot more from, this program than I have from other. I've done a lot of self-development and spiritual type programs, self-development programs, therapy, different things like that. But this was just very like specifically condensed, I would say,
Mhm.
to really understand myself, see any patterns that might be dysfunctional that were not my fault, but they were my responsibility. And to really be able to shift those things. And that's a lot to do in 5 months. And I would say that, there was benefit in the course, but there's been really big benefit since the course. So yeah, lifestyle shift.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, right? That's why we have our 5 months, and then you have longer access to everything to really fully integrate, right? We get to catch the patterns in the course. We get to say, okay, here's the corrections you're going to make, and then you get to go live that for the rest of your life, right?
And just really receive, I mean, honestly, like I'm really receiving the support that I've always wanted from the masculine, and it's been so wonderful.
Yeah. That's
And it's
awesome.
just starting, it's just beginning.
It's just beginning. It wasn't
Yeah.
that long ago that you learned all of this.
No, I didn't. I just learned this. Yeah. I just learned
Yeah,
how to
so just
love them and
imagine.
appreciate them for who they are. Yeah, exactly. And it's so
Yeah.
easy. It's so easy to do, and it means so
Mhm.
much.
Yeah. Well, that's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing all of that. Where I want to go now with this is, you are where you are now. You're in this incredible place. I'm imagining that you probably couldn't even imagine what it would be like to be where you are now when you signed up. So there are a lot of women who sit and they think about it and they're like, is this really going to be useful for me? Am I really going to get something from this? Will this work? And there can be a lot of just fears around investing. And so before signing up for you, um, how did you like get to that place of actually signing up for the program? Like what was the mindset or the thinking or what helped you say yes to giving this to yourself?
I was just so tired of failing in my relationships, and I had been hurt so deeply, that I really felt like I needed help. So, yeah, and I think, the women in my life that I'm sharing with about your program, what I see with them is, they're struggling in their relationships, and a lot of it, I think, is just not being able to understand the masculine.
Mhm.
And I see how their men are really, showing up to provide and protect, but they're missing it, at some level. And so there's just this miss, and it's so sad because it's like the thought is, well, I'll just start over with the next one, and it's like, no. I really hope that you can get some, jewels and gold and treasure from the relationship that you're in, because it's takes so much love and energy to even, enter into a relationship and be in a relationship that, I hope that the treasure can come from this one. And I really think, what you offer in the program, gives women that opportunity. I mean, the relationship may not work out, but it gives them the opportunity to really shift the energy in the relationship so that maybe it can work out.
Mhm. Yeah. So it sounds like you're saying you just got to the point where it was like, no more. Like, I can't repeat this pattern again. I
I
can't
can't
go through
repeat
this
this
pain
pattern. It's
again.
way too painful, way too painful. If there's anything in this that I'm responsible for, I'm ready to shift it.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's what got you there.
Mhm.
So for women who might be sitting on the fence, who have heard your story, they've heard your transformation, they're inspired to maybe join coaching with me. Why would you recommend them to work with me? What would you say to someone who maybe is sitting on the edge? Like, what would you say to help motivate her, help her make that decision to be like, yes, I'm going to do this?
Sure, it's really positive. I mean, it's very positive work. You offer really high quality, high value content, and coaching. And so, it's called the High Value Woman. You are a high value woman. And you are giving that to other women, who are also high value, who can then find their value in a new way. It's absolutely worth it. Absolutely.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you for
Mhm.
sharing that.
Sure.
Well, thank you also just for being here for this whole call, for being willing to share your story. I wish you all the best for everything that's coming in your future. I know all of it's just going to be incredible, and I can't wait when I hear that you've met an amazing man. I know that that's going to happen when you're ready for that. So, if you are listening to our conversation and you're feeling like, yes, I think I'm ready for this transformation in my love life, I'm ready to invest in myself and really have the life and the relationship that is possible for me, then I do encourage you to join the High Value Woman Mastermind. The doors for the program are either currently open and enrolling, or you can get yourself on the waiting list and grab a spot, get the early bird bonuses for when enrollment does open. The High Value Woman Mastermind is kind of that core program that I really believe every woman needs to truly heal herself, do her own work, look at her own patterns and why the things that are happening in her relationships and her love life are the things that are happening. And then evolve and embody really the high value woman, being the best version of yourself, loving yourself, feeling good about yourself, and understanding how to relate to men so you can have the relationship you want, so you can get everything that you need from the man in your life and attract that really high value man who wants to do all of that for you. So if you're interested, if you want more information, I encourage you to go to my website, elizabethkarinacoaching.com/high value woman for high value woman. Get the full details for the program. You can apply, claim your spot. I really hope to see you inside in the next round. And that's all for today. So thank you for being here with us. Bye.